Hi guys, Dana here. How are you doing today? Can you hear and see me well? Please write in the chat. Guys, today we are talking about tasks 19 through 24. Again, this is not our first stream on this topic, but we are going to take different tasks. Why are we doing this again? Well, because grammar is a pain, right? For a lot of students, for a lot of high school students, grammar is one of the most difficult things that can be imagined, right? So today we are going to get extra practice on these tasks, right? Have a look at different ones. Most of them are still from ФИПИ because, well, these are the people who create our exam, right? So pretty reliable source. Yeah. So a couple of things about me before we start talking about grammar. My name is Dana, as I have already mentioned, and I am a senior methodologist and teacher at the online school Учёба.ру. I graduated from MSLU, which is one of the best universities in Moscow to study for being a teacher and a linguist. So love my university. If you're thinking about applying to become an interpreter or a teacher, I would recommend applying there because their school is absolutely amazing. One more fact that is pretty cool about me, I guess, especially for people who are going to pass ЕГЭ soon, right? I got 100 points on my ЕГЭ when I passed it, and well, I guess that gives me, I don't know, an opportunity to share my experience. I'm not alone, though, right? I'm here today with the online school, Учёба.ру, and here on the slide you can see a couple of amazing facts about us. We got 5,000 graduates who got 80 plus with us on ЕГЭ and 5 points on ОГЭ, right? An amazing number. We also have a very modern and cool platform where all of our students study. We have different levels, right, which is pretty cool for English and, well, actually for most subjects, right? It's very good when you have a choice, right? If you're starting from zero, right? That's a good idea to start with the people who feel the same about the subject, right? And with the teacher who actually understands that. And well, if you are more advanced in your English or in any other subject, that's also good, right? To have a choice to study with the people who already know a couple of things, right, about the subject, and with a teacher who can go into more depth, I guess, about the subject. Right, and we actually guarantee your entrance to university if you do everything that we ask of you, right? If you do your homework, if you pass all of your tests with us, right? So all the mock exams. Yeah, that's a pretty cool deal, right? A couple of things about our teachers, right? We've got 50 experienced teachers and methodologists who are working on our platform, on your program, right? And who give seminars, streams like this. So check out other channels as well. They're pretty cool. And guys, I think we're ready, yeah? Here we just have a couple things about the theory on 19 through 24, but if you want to go into more detail, then we already have a stream talking about the theory of tasks 19 through 24, what's important there, right, what to study, what to give all of your attention to. The link is in the description of this video, so check it out if you haven't seen that yet. But in general words, right, about verbs, what do we need to know if we get a verb in 19 through 24? First of all, of course, our favorite topic, tenses, right? There are quite a few of them in English, and it's very good if you know all the theory about them, right? How to use them, how to form them, all the time markers that can help you, all those things. Conditionals. of course, well, the first thing about conditionals is to actually see it, right? Recognize it and know how to act afterwards. Reported speech is sometimes even harder to notice, right? To acknowledge that, okay, this is it, right? But we are studying how to do that at our course as well. Voices, right? Active or passive. Also very important to remember about that, because even if you chose the correct tense, but you forgot about the voice, then you're going to get your answer wrong. Spelling. Well, of course, right? Again, with all the tenses, we always study the spelling, how to add ed, how to add s, right? What to change, what not to change. I know that for a lot of good high school students, that's a very easy topic, but we still go through all of that again because, well, you know, if you've been studying English for quite a long time, then it's quite easy to forget the easy things, right? Easy to easy, but yeah, you know what I mean. And well, if you're starting from scratch, then it's very, very useful for you. Markers, I have already mentioned that, right? Time markers and also voice markers, they exist as well. Non-finite verb forms are one of the most frustrating topics, I guess, but they're not as hard as a lot of people imagine. So I actually posted a video last week on this channel, so check it out if you haven't yet. It's called in Russian "не личная форма глагола," right? So yeah, that's a good one. I think you'll like it if you check it out. Next, adjectives and adverbs. Right, another, well, other two parts of speech, right? What do we need to know about them to complete 19 through 24 successfully? First of all, degrees, of course, right? Comparative and superlative degrees of adjectives and adverbs. Exceptions, right? All of those irregular forms. Thank God there aren't a lot of them, but you still should know them. And spelling. Again, how to add er and est to the adjective when you are forming those degrees correctly. Numerals, one of the easiest topics. If you do know how to spell them correctly, that's not going to be a problem for you at all, right? Again, irregular forms of ordinal numerals, good to know, right? Nouns. Nouns are also quite easy in 19 through 24 because the only thing that you can do with a noun is put it into the plural form, right? That's it. So we study spelling and exceptions, right? All the irregular plural forms of nouns. Again, there aren't a lot of them, a bit more than of adjectives and adverbs, but still they're pretty easy to remember. And pronouns. Well, pronouns just need you to understand the logic behind them and you'll be golden, you know. All right, so are we ready to start the practice? Let's do it together. And the first topic is New Year around the world. Well, it's almost June, right? But still, you know, I have met New Year in, you know, exams before, so why not? All right, let's see what we got. I can see that I got a verb in my first sentence, right? Celebrate. So let's read the sentence. Let's figure out the answer. Everybody loves New Year. It is a holiday which all over the world. Guys, the first thing I ask myself when I see verb in this task is my verb a predicate or not? In this case, it is, right? I got it as a subject, is as a predicate, and also celebrate as a predicate. So now I need to figure out if it's in active or in passive voice, right? Celebrate, holiday. Well, holiday can't celebrate anything, right? So the voice is passive. What about the tense? And Elizabeth has got the right answer. Absolutely amazing. The tense is, of course, present simple. We got present simple in the first sentence, right? And this is a fact about this holiday. So it is a holiday which is, oh my God, sorry for the Russian, is celebrated all over the world. Amazing. Okay, 20. In Scandinavia, cook rice with nuts and nut turkey for New Year. And we got a noun, which is one of the coolest things that we can meet in 19 through 24. Yep, absolutely. Women. The only thing we can do is put it into the plural, right? But guys, do notice the pronunciation, right? We change the letter in our spelling, right? A becomes E, but in pronunciation, we change the first syllable. Women, right? Woman, women. All right, and 21. Italian people enjoy old things out of the windows on New Year's Day. This is a verb, right? Throw. But is it a predicate? People is the subject. Enjoy is the predicate. So throw is not a predicate here. Absolutely. Elizabeth, you got it. Enjoy throwing. Guys, when we have a verb that is not a predicate in our sentence, the only choice that we have to make is it a gerund? Okay, let's phrase it another way. Is it verb ing, or is it verb ed, or the third form of the verb? That's it, right? It can be a gerund, it can be a present participle or a past participle, but present participle and gerund look the absolute same way. So, you know, verb ing or verb ed or the third form of the verb. Could also be an infinitive, right? But really not popular in tasks 19 through 24. So keep it in mind, but don't think too much of them. All right. And we are moving on. 22. A treasure in a chair. And again, the first one is a verb. The Browns from Manchester, the UK, are a very lucky family. Some years ago, Mr. Brown, a chair on sale. Mr. Brown is my subject, right? So by is my predicate. He did it himself, or did it happen to him? Well, of course he did it himself, right? Mr. Brown, that's a person, so active voice, and yep, past simple. Why is it past simple? Bought. Second form, right? Why is it past simple? Well, ago, right? That is our very reliable time marker for past simple. Some years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know, a decade ago, when we have ago, that's a very good time marker for past simple. All right, 23. However, Mrs. Brown, it. And guys, another verb, right? But with not. Really important not to forget that not, and also to know that you only have to make the verb negative if you have this not in the task. Okay, did not like. So active voice, of course, right? And past simple again, because we're still talking about that situation some years ago, right? That's just a sequence of actions, right? He bought, she did not like it. Okay, 24. Mr. Brown took it to the attic, thinking he it's later. And another verb, right? That's not an easy one. Let's think about it. So, took is another verb in our sequence, right? He bought, she did not like, he took. But what comes next? We really need to pay attention to this later. Yes, Elizabeth, very good. He would sell it later. What is this? Guys, this is what people like to call future in the past, right? Because he took it to the attic, right? Thinking, present participle, because he was thinking at the same time as he took the chair to the attic, right? He was thinking in the past about the future, right? Later is about the future, so We change will into would because, well, that's what we do when we're talking about the future in the past. Oh, sorry, I wrote would later. Why? Okay, that's my brain, you know. It does creepy things like that sometimes. He would sell it later. Okay, and a bonus one. While cleaning it before a spring garage sale, he broke it by accident and found expensive jewelry inside. Wow, okay. Mrs. Brown says it's the surprise in her life. And, well, we got an adjective. We got an adjective, we got the before our gap, and we have in her life at the end, which means we need absolutely the superlative degree of that adjective, the best. This is an irregular adjective, right? It has irregular comparative and superlative forms, and best is the superlative form, which we need here. Very well done. All right, next one. A hungry wolf. An old nurse was putting a baby to bed. She, the boy to be quiet, otherwise she would give him to a wolf. An absolutely awful nurse, but, you know, it's just a story. And we got a verb, right? Tell. Got past continuous in the first sentence, right? Was putting. So, what do we need in our gap? What are we thinking? Definitely a predicate, right? She is the subject, tell is the predicate. Active voice, obviously, right? What about the tense? Okay, guys, let's imagine this situation, right? This is our time stream, right? Was putting a baby to bed looks like this, right? She was doing it for some reason for a long time, yeah? And then, at some point, while she was putting a baby to bed, this happened. This is tell. Yeah. What do we use when one short action interrupts a long action? What do we do? What tense do we use? In the past. Yeah. Together with past continuous, yes, Elisabeth, absolutely. We use past simple for shorter action, right? She told the boy to be quiet. Right? She was putting a baby to bed, right? That was our long action. It was interrupted by her telling the boy to be quiet. So we need past simple here, and told is the second form of tell. Well done. Okay, 20. But the child, even more and more loudly. Again, obviously predicate, right? The child is our subject. Obviously, it is active voice, right? The child does the action themselves. Oh, it's a boy himself, okay. But what about the tense? So she was putting a baby to bed. She told the boy to be quiet. Where do we have the child in his action? Absolutely. Well done. The child was screaming even more and more loudly. Guys, I like past continuous here because it shows the continuity of the action, right? The fact that it was long. That's why she was putting a baby to bed, right? That's why it was a process, because the child was screaming the whole time, right? And also because of more and more loudly, right? More and more also shows a process. But in fact, we could also use past simple here, right? If we want to put this particular action into a sequence, right? So she was putting a baby to bed. She told the baby to be quiet, but after she told the baby, he screamed even more loudly, right? So both here are okay. The one that you are going to choose in your own speech depends on only what you want to say. At the exam, the expert will, not the expert, but the computer, right, will accept both answers because we can explain both of them. That's totally all right. The context just doesn't give us more to decide between them. All right, and the last one here. The wolf heard the screams and thought to himself, any lunch yet? This boy is just what I need. Okay, this is scary. But the old nurse shut the door and all the windows, and the wolf had to go away. Never trust enemies' promises. Okay, I'm not sure why the promises are here, but yeah, good job, nurse. We have a happy ending. Absolutely. For the gap we need, I have not had any lunch yet. Because, guys, we have quotation marks here, right? That's why we do not need to put this into the past, because the quotation marks are here, right? We are talking direct speech here. And yet tells us that we need a perfect tense, right? So this wolf has not had any lunch yet, right? He didn't have it in the past, and he still hasn't eaten, right? So it's still true. He's hungry. So I have not had any lunch yet. Very well done. All right, moving on. The invention of the light bulb. And again, a verb. Every person in the world knows about Thomas Edison, the electric bulb, by this famous scientist. Okay, we have our subject. Invent is obviously a predicate. Right, Tina is very good today. The light bulb was invented. Why? Well, because the bulb can't invent anything, right? It's just a thing. So we do need passive voice. Also, here is a marker of passive voice, right? If you have by and then a person, or I don't know, a company or a thing that can do something, that is a very good marker of passive voice, right? So the famous scientist invented this light bulb. And, well, of course we use past simple because this is just a fact, right, in the past about Thomas Edison and his light bulb. Very good. Okay, 23. The electrification of the modern world profoundly changed human life. The night. And, guys, eliminate is a verb as well, right? The electrification of the modern world. So this is the subject, right? Profoundly changed human life. Changed is the predicate. So eliminate. Is that a predicate or not? Well, we got a comma here. And, well, no and, right? So it's not a predicate. For the sentence to have two predicates, we do need and or but or any other, I don't know, which, whatever, right, to connect the two predicates. If we have a comma, it means that our gap is not the predicate. So what is it? Any ideas? Again, guys, if our verb is not the predicate, then we only got three simple, okay, maybe not simple, choices, right? Verb ing, or verb ed, or the infinitive, right? So what do we need here? Yes, absolutely. Can't pronounce your name, but the answer is correct. That's good enough for me. Illuminating. And guys, this is called a present participle, right? Because the electrification changed human life, and at the same time it illuminated the night, right? Our gap is not the predicate, so we can't use a finite verb form, right? But we can use present participle here for an action that was happening or that happened at the same time as the action of the main verb of the predicate. Very well done. Okay, maybe I can read your name. Seems rude of me not to. Velids. Yeah, am I reading that correctly? Velids. Alright, moving on to 24. The electric bulb made it possible for people to continue their usual day activities after dark. And we got a numeral. The only thing we can do with a numeral is put it into the ordinal form, right? So what's the ordinal form of when? Anyone? Fast, absolutely. Good job. Okay. Moving on to our bonus task. Edison started with a 40-hour life light bulb and finally made a bulb that lasted for 1,500 hours. This certainly revolutionized human at that time. Okay, and we got life. What part of speech is life? Is it a noun, a verb, an adjective? What is it? Okay, you got the answer, but what's the part of speech? Is it a thing or an action? A noun or a verb? It's a noun, absolutely. Valids. I was reading it correctly. I can do it. Alright, guys, absolutely. The only thing we can do with a noun is put it into the plural form, right? This certainly revolutionized human lives at that time. I'm not sure why they wanted us to use a plural noun here, because, well, human life could be used in a general sense in a singular form too, but, you know, whatever. They wanted to check if we can change F into V, right, and only then add ES, and we can. So, well done, guys. Alright, moving on. A solution for drivers. It's a problem for any driver to drive in sunny weather. Wearing sunglasses? Much. It's still very hard to see anything in front of you. Oh my god. Okay. I was always, I have been afraid of not driving, but, riding in a car with a driver when it's, I don't know, rainy or slippery, but I guess I should be afraid of sunny weather too. Okay, so not help, right? What do we need? Wearing sunglasses is our subject, right? Well, let's underline wearing. And not help is obviously our predicate. Does not help, absolutely. Why does not help? Right. Well, guys, we need present simple here, of course, because again, this is just a fact, right? We have it is a problem, right? It is still very hard. All around our gap is present simple, and we need present simple as well. Right, valids. We do not use shortened forms here because at the exam you do need full forms. You can't write a short form in 19 through 24 at the exam. So yeah, we are just getting used to writing full forms while we are practicing as well, so as not to, I don't know, forget about it at the exam. All right, 20. Now there is a solution to this problem. In 2011, LCD sunglasses invent. So obviously, again, invent is our predicate, right? No other verb in my sentence. And sunglasses is our subject, so what do we need? Sunglasses can't invent anything, right? So this is passive voice. And what tense do we need? Absolutely. You got it, guys. Were invented. Absolutely. Because, well, we have in 2011 and that is in the past, right? A particular date in the past says that we do need to use past simple, and, well, to form passive voice in past simple, we need be in past simple. Sunglasses are a third person plural, so were. And, well, ed, of course. All right, 21. They dynamically block direct sunlight. There is no doubt that in the future, more drivers, them. Guys, there are a lot of tasks in, well, on FIPI's website, right? That start with, there is no doubt that. What does it usually mean for us? Huh. Okay, we're going to check that with you. Okay. Let's see. Future continuous. A very interesting choice. Can you please tell me why you chose future continuous here? Alright, guys, I'm sorry, but FIPI doesn't want to work today as much as I want to work today, so I'm not sure we'll be able to check that right now because the website just doesn't want to load anything. Alright, I'll write it down and we'll check afterwards. That's not a problem, right? Will use is definitely correct, that's for sure. Future simple is, well, in most cases, it's absolutely reliable when you have, there's no doubt that in the future something or someone will do something or something else. Because this is a prediction, right, based on an opinion, right? And future simple is the, well, the most obvious choice, right? For future continuous, we usually do need more context, right? More markers, like, I don't know, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. tomorrow, so specific time in the future, right, when we will be in a process of doing something, right? Or this time next year, so some particular time period is usually needed to use future continuous. Here, well, I wouldn't use it. Maybe FIPI would accept it as to, you know, we're talking about a process of driving, but I'm not sure, and we do need to check it with FIPI. Okay, got a question. Love those. Is it possible to say in this sentence, are going to use? Right. Okay, that's a good question. It is possible in your own speech to say that about a future event when you're basing your prediction on some facts, right? So not on your opinion just because I think so, yeah, but on some facts. Like when you are in a traffic jam, right, and you, I don't know, call your friend and say, sorry, I'm going to be late. Because you're basing your prediction on the fact that there is a huge traffic jam right in front of you, right? And you're basing your prediction on that fact, not just because you think so. When we're talking about predictions based on just your opinion, right, because the stars told you so, or your intuition, or whatever, we usually use future simple, right? And FIPI wouldn't accept are going to in this case. Sorry. Have I answered your question? In fact, I haven't ever seen going to in ФИПИ tasks, like ever. So, yeah. Yeah, no problem. All right, moving on. Wallpaper. Many people prefer to decorate their rooms with wallpaper. It enrolls and is relatively inexpensive. We got another verb. Okay, so many people prefer, right? Present simple. It enrolls and is relatively inexpensive. And it is our subject. So, sell is obviously our predicate, right? And we got and here, see? That's what I was talking about, right? Two predicates connected with and. Okay, valids. Think about it. Think about it a little bit more. What does it refer to? What is it in this case? It's wallpaper, right? So, does wallpaper do that itself? Probably not, right? So who does that? Who does the action? This action happens to our subject, right? So, we don't need the active voice. Yes, we need the passive voice, absolutely. How do we form passive voice in present simple? With it, right? Third person singular. Come on, you know this, right? Absolutely. Well, you got it. It is sold. Enrolls, right? We, again, need be in the right form, right? For present simple, third person singular, it's is. And then we need the third form of the verb. Or ed if the verb is regular. Sell is irregular, so we correctly use the third form of the verb. Well done. Okay. 23. Wallpaper is then paint because it comes in all sorts of patterns and colors. Well, we got an adjective, right? And we have then in the sentence. Better, absolutely. Wallpaper is better than paint, right? Comparing only two things, wallpaper and paint, and we have then in the sentence, so absolutely obvious that we need the comparative degree here. And we formed it correctly. Good job. Okay, 24. You can even buy wallpaper with a photo of a landscape and enjoy at beautiful views every day. You can buy and enjoy, right? Two predicates. And yes, our verb is not the predicate here. It is a gerund. Enjoy doing what? Enjoy looking, right? Yes, just remember, after enjoy, you almost always need a gerund, right? You never use an infinitive after it, and, well, if you enjoy doing something or enjoy something, it's always a gerund that you need. It's pretty easy to remember, right? Okay, moving on. I saw it in a dream. When scientists think about something very hard, their minds work all the time. Exhausting, right? Many scientists didn't expect that they a solution to their problem in their sleep. Okay, got a complex sentence here, right? Scientists as the subject, didn't expect as the predicate, and then another subject, right? They. two clauses here. So find is another predicate, right? For the subject they here. And yes, you know that, absolutely. They would find a solution. Again, we are talking from the past about the future, right? So we need would here. Would plus verb, the base form. Very easy. All right. The only thing to notice is that we're actually talking about the future from the past, right? They didn't expect. That's in past simple. So would find. Okay, 23. For instance, Niels Bohr an idea about the atomic structure while sleeping. Okay, another scary fact. So, what do we think? Definitely a predicate, right? This Niels guy is the subject. What tense do we need? Had, of course, just past simple. Yeah, we don't have any time markers like, I don't know, 3 years ago or last Saturday or in 1991, but we do have all the previous sentences, right? And an understanding that an idea about the atomic structure happened in the past, right? It doesn't happen regularly to this guy. I hope so, right? So just a fact about Niels in the past, right? He had an idea about the atomic structure. All right, 24. Some great musical pieces of Richard Wagner by him in his dreams. Please notice this. And also the fact that our subject is not Richard Wagner, it's his musical pieces, right? So we need the passive voice, right? Were heard, absolutely. We need the passive voice in past simple, were heard. Very good. Again, because this is just a fact about the past, right? But we need passive voice because the subject is musical pieces, right? They can't hear, so they were heard by him. Okay, and a bonus one. There are examples of it, then you can imagine. So next time you have a hard problem to solve, just have a good night's sleep. I wish it worked like that. Well, maybe sometimes it does, right? Okay, we got many. What do we do with it? More, of course. We need the comparative degree here. Absolutely. There are more examples of it than you can imagine, right? So here we're kind of comparing two situations, right? The real life situation and what you can imagine, right? So two situations need the comparative degree, and the comparative degree of many is more. Guys, please do not get confused at the exam if you get many here or little, right? Learn those degrees of these words because they kind of can confuse people at the exam. All right, moving on. The two crabs. One fine day, two crabs came out of their home to take a stroll on the sand. Sometimes these stories are a bit too much, guys. What? Why are we reading about two crabs? All right. Child, said the mother, you, very ungracefully. You should get yourself used to walking straight forward without twisting from side to side. You know, beauty standards even for crabs. Wow. Okay. So, what are we thinking? Walk is definitely a predicate here, right? You as the subject. And we are seeing quotation marks. So, what do we think? Are walking. Very good, right. Are walking. Why? Well, because, again, quotation marks, right? So we are talking in the present. This is direct speech. And at this time, they are on their walk, right? On their stroll. So the mother sees the, I don't know, little crab, right, walking, and she says, you are walking very ungracefully right now. Yeah, very, very logical. All right. 20. The young crab asked his mother to show how to do it so that he copy it. And can. That's a modal verb. What do we do with a modal verb? Right, it is either absolutely. He could copy it. Guys, could is the only other form of the verb can, right? So the only thing to check is if you actually need to change it, right? Here, we do need to change it because this is not in quotation marks anymore, right? We got past simple there. So yes, we do need the past form of can, right? To make the sentence complete. He could copy it. Good. 21. You see, setting an example is the way of teaching. We got the, we got an adjective, and we're comparing this way to all the other ways. So, what do we need? Absolutely, the superlative degree. The best way of teaching, right? When we compare one thing to all the other things, we need best. Oh, we need the superlative degree, but in this case, we need best. All right, moving on. Emoji. Okay, not crabs, I'm glad. Emoji is a Japanese word to denote ideograms and smileys. People often put emoticons in their electronic messages and web pages. Got a pronoun, finally. Alright guys, what can we do with this? There's only one thing we can do with this. Yes, absolutely. Put it into the plural. These. Just make sure that you got a plural noun afterwards, emoticons, right? And we got our answer, these. All right, 20. They in the 1990s. Definitely a predicate, right? No other verb in my sentence. They as the subject, and we got a particular date in the past. Which means what? Were introduced, for sure. Introduced. Well done, right? Passive voice because they, meaning emoticons or emojis, right? They couldn't do anything because they're just, I don't know, not even things, right? Like some images, right, on the internet. So yeah, they couldn't do anything. So somebody introduced them, right? And for that, we need passive voice. And past simple because of the particular date in the past. Well done. 21. Since that time, they immensely popular worldwide, much thanks to their international inclusion in smartphones. Become, another verb here, right? Definitely a predicate because you got they, right? They as a subject. And yeah, no other verb. Okay, we got two different answers. Have become or have became. So which one is correct? What do we think? Well, guys, since that time, told you that we need present perfect here, right? You guessed, well, you didn't guess, you actually know this. This is amazing. And you chose your tense correctly, but in present perfect, we need the third form of the verb, right? And the third form is become. They have become, right? Become, became, become. Same way as come, came, come, right? All right, we got it together. All right, 22. There is no doubt that people using emoji in the future. Again, right? There is no doubt in the future. What do we use when we see there is no doubt in the future? Absolutely. Future simple, right? Will continue. Prediction based on opinion. We need future simple here. Will continue using emoji. Nicely done, guys. Moving on. A strange story. Boris Kostadiev was a famous Soviet painter. One day, two young scientists to see him. Okay, got a verb, right? Which is definitely a predicate because we got only an infinitive afterwards, right? One day. What does that mean? Well, it could mean different things, right? But we have was in the first sentence, which means one day in the past, right? Particular time, well, not so particular, right? But definitely in the past. And yes, Elizabeth came. Two young scientists came to see him, right? Just past simple here. Second form of the verb. Okay, 23. They wanted to have their portraits painted. Kostadiev painted portraits of famous people only. Okay, and his wish was to refuse them. I have one. What do we need? Please someone write it. It's a number, so the only thing we can do with the number is put it into the ordinal form, which is first. Thank you so much. His first wish was to refuse them. Okay. Still, the scientists insisted they famous in the near future. Okay. God insisted, past simple, right? In the near future. We are talking about the future from the past, so we need what? Would be, absolutely. Would plus the base form of the verb. They would be famous in the near future. All right, such confidence, right? Amazing. All right, moving on. A tasty cup. Can you imagine a person who drinks his cup of coffee, then has his empty cup for dessert and leaves the cafe? Okay. Not sure why his. Guys, in English, I'm sorry, ФИПИ, sorry, but in English we do not use he or his as the default pronoun, right? When we have a person can be female or male, so we do not use his. We use his or her, or we use their cup, right? We do not do this. This is wrong. Okay, a lot of Italian restaurants now serve the coffee in the country, in the cups which one can eat. Wow. Okay, so what do we need? Got an adjective, right? Got the, and then we got in the country. And of course, the superlative degree, right? Very typical. The best coffee in the country. We are comparing this coffee to all the other coffee in the country, right? Types of coffee in the country. Good. 20. The cup with a substance which keeps the liquid inside. Okay, definitely a predicate, right? The cup is our subject. Absolutely. The cup doesn't cover anything here, right? The substance covers the cup. The cup is covered. This is a fact about this cup, right? We're talking in present simple because we are describing the cup in the present. And guys, this with is actually a marker as well, because in passive voice, when the instrument of the action is mentioned, we use with, right? So by plus a person, with plus a thing, right? The substance here covers the cup. The cup is covered with a substance. All right, well done. 21. You to put extra sugar in your coffee in such a cup because it is sweet. Not need. Again, still talking about facts, right? So, do not need. Yes, absolutely. You got it. You do not need to put extra sugar. Another fact about the cup, right? That's why present simple, very well done. Okay, 22. There is no doubt, again, that soon such cups popular all over the world. There is no doubt, right? And soon instead of in the future or in the near future, but soon again is in the future, right? So, yes, of course, such cups will become popular, right? Haven't really seen such a cup, but maybe in the near future, right? Okay, moving on. Winston Churchill was a great political leader and a very clever man. Many British people think since then they're a prime minister better than him. Not be. We got since then, right? Since a particular time in the past. So what do we think? Okay, so it is present perfect. That's good. But Elizabeth, can we see our true subject here? There is not a true subject, right? What's a true subject here? The real one. Prime Minister, right? A Prime Minister, which means third person singular, right? Yes. So there has not been a prime minister better than him. Good job. All right, 23. He even the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1953. Wow, in literature. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we got win, which is definitely the predicate here, right? And yes, we got a particular time in the past, 1953, which means we need past simple. And the second form of win is won. Guys, also please notice the pronunciation, right? We write O, we pronounce it as O, won. Okay, 24. His work was a 6-volume memoir about the Second World War. But he wrote some science fiction books as well. Cool. Okay, so famous, adjective. Right, very good. He's most famous. Guys, famous is considered, well, it's 2 syllables, right? So it's considered a longer adjective, so we need most to form the superlative degree, and we do need the superlative degree here, not comparative, although we do not have the before our gap, right? But we do have his, which is, well, a possessive pronoun, right? With possessive pronouns, we never use articles of any kind. But we do need the superlative degree because we are talking about this particular memoir, right? And we are comparing this book to all his other books, right? So not only two things, but more. So we need the superlative degree. Well done. Moving on. Clouds. Do you like to watch clouds? Many people all over the world enjoy it. After enjoy, what do we use? Yes, you got it. Enjoy doing it. All right, just a gerund. Enjoy doing what? Enjoy doing it. Well done. 20. There are a lot of different kinds of clouds, but they all look white as they reflect the sun's light, just like the moon. It is interesting to know that clouds unique to our planet. It is interesting to know, right? We have not the as the predicate, right? Clouds as the subject. And what do we need? Valids, looking forward to answers from you too. Are not, absolutely. Clouds are not unique to our planet. Of course. Why? Well, again, this is a fact, right? It is interesting to know. We are talking about facts. There are a lot of different kinds of clouds. They all look, right? Everything is in present simple because, well, we're talking about facts. Okay, and so here, guys, the most difficult and the easiest thing at the same time is to remember that the verb to be doesn't need any auxiliary verbs, right? That's the only verb we don't use auxiliaries with. Okay, 21. In fact, any planet with an atmosphere has and a pronoun, they. Them, yes, of course. We just need an object pronoun here, right? Because, well, our gap is the object of the verb has, right? Any planet has what? Has them. The object of the sentence needs an object pronoun. Good. 22. It takes an hour or to form a cloud. That is why the weather can change so quickly. And we have little, right? So, an hour or less. Very good. Again, comparing only two things, right? An hour or less. Less is the comparative form of little. Very good to remember that. Okay? Oh, right. We are having a break, guys. And the break is in Russian. Чуть-чуть расскажу про нашу современную платформу для подготовки. Сори за мой русский, он долго перестраивается с английского. Все, что нужно для обучения, у нас на курсе находится на нашей современной платформе. Чуть-чуть про нее слайдов. Так выглядят интерактивные видеоуроки, если вы проходите их с телефона. Проходить их можно как с телефона, так и с компьютера. На самом деле, разница, наверное, только в привычке. Для меня удобнее учиться с компьютера, например. Но я знаю, что у многих старшеклассников есть проблемы со временем, да. Я даже знаю старшеклассников, у которых просто нет компьютера, потому что, а зачем? Вот. С телефона тоже можно и тоже удобно. Кнопочка «Смотреть урок», потом все упражнения после того, как вы посмотрели это видео. Заметьте, пожалуйста, что видео здесь, например, всего 8 минут, 8,5, ладно. Видеоуроки у нас всегда разбиты на кусочки, чтобы вам не пришлось смотреть 1,5 часа просто как фильм. Ну, во-первых, потому что это тяжело, а во-вторых, потому что очень хочется, чтобы вы не просто смотрели это как действительно фильм, а чтобы вы могли одновременно потренироваться, да, в том, что вы только что изучили. То есть вы смотрите кусочек теории, и потом сразу же применяете ее на практике. Так, во-первых, запоминается лучше, а во-вторых, это интереснее. Да, ну, для меня, по крайней мере, точно. Когда я могу что-то поделать сама, учиться становится как-то приятнее, да, чем просто кого-то слушать долгое время. Это тяжко. Да, тут еще есть строчка про конспекты. Конспекты у нас тоже есть, поэтому вам не приходится пересматривать видосики по миллиону раз, если вы что-то вдруг забыли. Конспект всегда можно открыть, конспект также можно распечатать и, собственно, составить из него целый учебник по предметам по подготовке к экзаменам. Практические семинары — это, собственно, место, где вы вживую общаетесь с преподавателями в небольших группах. Домашки с быстрой проверкой. Тут все тоже нарисовано. Это тоже скриншот с телефона с быстрой проверкой, потому что вот есть варианты ответов, например, да, и компьютер сразу же проверяет и рассказывает вам, что правильно, что неправильно, почему правильно или неправильно. Все эти решения мы тоже прописываем всегда для вас, чтобы вам было удобно, чтобы вам не приходилось писать преподавателю каждый раз, когда вам что-то непонятно, да, а вы сразу видели, почему что-то получилось, почему что-то не получилось. Но написать преподавателю тоже можно. Вот тут у меня есть слайд на эту тему. У вас всегда есть наши контакты, вы всегда можете задать все свои вопросы. Мы помогаем разобраться абсолютно во всех сложностях. Ну и стараемся, да, очень дружелюбно и приятно это делать. Удобное расписание и список дел тоже есть на платформе. Вот так выглядит ваш календарик, когда вы учитесь с нами. Ежемесячные пробники — это очень здоровский способ потренироваться в формате экзаменационном. Для нас это важно, чтобы увидеть ваш прогресс. Для вас это важно, чтобы практиковаться и тоже увидеть свой прогресс. Вот. Так это все выглядит. Система уведомлений, да, чтобы вы ничего никогда не забывали. Можно настроить, можно не настраивать, если вас бесит уведомления, такое тоже встречается. Надо тыкнуть кнопочку, чтобы они начали приходить. И все. Наш перерыв окончен. Возвращаемся, получается. Okay, 22. Oleg Protopopov. Okay, have you heard about this person? He was born in 1932 and he was one of the figure skaters of his time. Okay, we got an adjective, good. What do we need? We got the before the gap, of his time at the end. So, what does that mean for us? Well, of course, that means that we need the superlative degree, right? So, one of the best figure skaters of his time. All right, 23. He 2 Olympic gold medals. Okay, we got a verb, which is definitely a predicate here, right? He is the subject. So, what tense do we need? Anyone? Well, guys, we just saw in 1932, right? Which is definitely a time marker for past simple, right? So, no matter that we don't have a time marker in our sentence, I remember that 19 through 24 are connected texts, right? So, we just need past simple in our gap. The second form of win is won. That's it. All right, 24. He was also the sportsman to show a lyrical program in figure skating. Well, again, a number, right? 1. The only thing we can do is put it into the ordinal form, which is first. All right, moving on. The Rosetta Stone. We learn about our past thanks to the findings of archaeologists. The Rosetta Stone is one of them. It in 1799. Okay. Find is definitely the predicate because we don't have any other verb in my sentence. It is my subject. And we got a time marker in 1799, which is in the past, right? So I already know my tense, right? Because I got a particular date in the past. What about my voice? Active or passive, guys? It refers to what? To the stone, right? So can a stone find anything? It definitely can't. So we need the passive voice, right? Come on, let's form passive voice and past simple together. What do we need? Well, to form passive voice in past simple, we need the verb to be, right, in the right form, which is was in past simple with the third person singular. And then we need the third form of the verb, right? It was found in 1799. All right, 20. Thanks to this finding, scientists could start the language of ancient Egyptians. Okay, interesting. This is a verb, right? Study. Scientists is my subject. Could start is my predicate, right? Got a modal verb plus the meaning verb. So I can't really have another finite verb form after these two, right? So what do I need? Could start doing what? Or could start what? My gap answers the question what. So, guys, I need a gerund. Could start studying. And please do notice the way I'm spelling this, right? If we have y at the end of the verb, we just add ing to it. We do not need to change anything when we are adding ing, right? Not ed or s, yeah? For those, the rules are different. All right, 21. This happened so because there were texts on the stone. Texts were both in Greek and the ancient Egyptian language. Demonstrative pronoun, the only thing I can do with it is put it into the plural. But I'm making sure that my noun is in the plural too, right? Texts. So, these. These texts were both in Greek and blah, 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 right? 22. Now, the Rosetta Stone is in the British Museum. Millions of visitors to the museum. It so far. What are we thinking? I got C, verb, right? Millions of visitors is my subject. So C is definitely the predicate, right? No other verb in my sentence. And guys, so far, right? Which is a very cool time marker for which tense? Anyone? Well, guys, let's see. Now the Rosetta Stone is in the British Museum, right? That's present simple. So I do have a connection to the present, right? So far is a very good time marker for present perfect. So millions of visitors to the museum have seen it so far. All right, moving on. Scandinavian walking. It is necessary to go in for sports. If you enough time to go to the gym, you might take up Scandinavian walking. Okay, so it is necessary, right? Present simple. You might take up. What do I need in my gap? Just present simple, guys, right? Absolutely. How do I form it? Well, with you, I need an auxiliary do, right? Do not have. If you do not have enough time to go to the gym, you might take up blah, blah, blah. Okay, 23. Many people enjoy this kind of sport. Well, so many times today, right? After enjoy, if my gap is not a predicate, and here it is not, I need gerund, right? Enjoy what? Enjoy doing this kind of sport. All right, and last one here. It is a very cheap hobby. All you need is a pair of walking sticks and comfortable shoes. Still, the thing is to take several lessons of Scandinavian walking to avoid traumas. Okay, got an adjective, right? And the before my gap. And what am I comparing here? Well, I'm comparing this thing, right, to all the other things. So I need the superlative degree. The best thing is to take several lessons. All right, we've got it. Moving on. Maria Callas. Maria Callas was the world-famous opera singer. She sang anything from operas by Rossini to Wagner's music dramas. Well, I got was, right, in my first sentence, so I understand that Maria Callas either lived in the past or yeah, nothing else actually, right? She, unfortunately, is probably dead because she was the world-famous opera singer. Or maybe she just stopped being an opera singer. Why not? But in any case, I need the past form of can, right? Which is... anyone? What's the past form of can, guys? Could, of course, right? That's the only other form of can. All right, 20. Maria in Greece. And the word that we have here is very interesting, educate. It is for sure a predicate, right? Because we don't have any other verb and Maria is our subject. But, guys, a very popular mistake is to think that educate is a synonym of study. It is not. It could be a synonym of teach, right? So, Maria, if we're talking about her education, didn't teach anyone, right? She got the action. She received it. So, we need the passive voice here. And, well, the whole story is in past simple, right? So I'm going to use past simple here as well. Maria was educated in Greece, right? Passive voice, past simple, and we got it. All right, 21. She moved to Italy and started her musical career there. She sang in the most prestigious opera houses and theaters, and people adored her. Okay, so late, right? What do we need? Comparative or superlative? Well, of course, comparative, right? We are comparing two situations in the past, right? One, she was educated and then moved to Italy. So later, she moved to Italy, right? Guys, a very popular mistake here is to use something like lately, right? Lately, she moved to Italy. Why can't we use lately? Well, because if we use lately, we are changing the part of speech, right? Late and lately are two different words, right? Lately is definitely an adverb, and we cannot change the word, right? We cannot change the word, we cannot change the part of speech. We do need to keep the same word and the same part of speech for 19 through 24. Okay, so please do not add "ly" to any adjective or adverb, right? If you're doing 19 through 24. If it doesn't have "ly" at the end, do not add it, please. Not here. In 25 through 29, you can. Here, Okay, 22, last one here. In fact, her voice was so unique that it, the golden standard ever since she started to perform. Guys, ever since plus a past event, right? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the past or the present? Yes, we are talking about the present, right? Ever since plus a past event. So if we are talking about the present, we need present perfect, right? That it has been the golden standard, right? All right, we got it. Moving on. Languages in the USA. The most commonly used language in the United States is English, which is the de facto national language. Nonetheless, many other languages in the United States. All right? Got a verb, which is definitely a predicate. Oh, sorry. Speak, right? Because there is no other verb in my sentence. And languages as my subject, right? What about a tense? The most commonly used language is English, which is the de facto national language. Okay, so again, we're talking about facts, right? So many other languages in the United States. Languages cannot really speak themselves, right? So somebody speaks these other languages. So we need a passive voice, yes? So many other languages are spoken, right? In the United States. Passive voice, present simple. A fact, and the action happens to my subject. Good. Moving on. Okay, demonstrative pronoun, right? This. Let's check if we need to change it. Include indigenous languages. Yes, include. Only for the plural, we can use include instead of includes in present simple, right? So, yes, I do need the plural form. These, right? Again, the only thing that I can do with a demonstrative pronoun, right? With this. Again, 24. Spanish, of course, is the most commonly spoken language in the United States. Okay, so I got a number, right? 2. The only thing I can do with a number is put it into the ordinal form, right? And the ordinal form of 2 is well, second, of course, right? Second is the second most commonly spoken language in the United States. All right. Moving on. Yeah, guys, I think that is actually, yep, that is actually it for today. Let's see. Ah, no, one more. Okay. Let's see. The wolf and the goat. A hungry wolf was out searching for a meal. he, a goat, feeding on grass on top of a cliff, of a high cliff. Okay, so a wolf was out, right? Past simple. And he, what do we need? Okay, let's read on a little bit. The wolf wished to get the goat to climb down from the rock and into his grasp, and he called out to her. Okay, so past simple all around my gap, right? Let's see if my gap speaks about an action that happened before my past simple actions. No, it doesn't, right? A hungry wolf was out searching for a meal. My gap talks about what happened during that search, right? So I just need past simple as well. And the second form of see is saw, right? He saw a goat feeding on grass. Okay, 20. Excuse me, dear goat, he said in a friendly voice. It is very dangerous for you to be at such a height. Such a caring wolf, guys. Can you see it? Do come down before you injure yourself. Besides, the grass is much down here. Take my advice and please come down from that high cliff. All right, guys. Green, right, is an adjective. So what do we need? Any ideas? The only thing we can do here, well, the only two things that we can do here is comparative or superlative form, right? So which one do we need? How many things are we comparing? Well, we're comparing two things, right? Basically, the grass at that high cliff and the grass where the wolf is, right? So if we are comparing two things, then we need the comparative degree, right? Which is greener. Yeah? The grass is much greener down here. This reminds me of a cartoon, but I didn't remember the name of it. There was like a ginger girl there. I think her name was Ginger, actually. Right, and she wore braces. That was a very cool cartoon when I was growing up. Yeah, I hope you know it as well. If you remember the name, please do write it down in the chat. I would love to rewatch it now that I am an adult. Okay, 21. But the goat knew too well of the wolf's intent. Huh, very smart goat. I like her. Okay, you, if I eat good grass or bad. Okay, so I can see quotation marks, right? So this is direct speech, yeah? And we have if, which is what? Right, if introduces a conditional, right? So after if, I have present simple, which tells me that there could be only two choices, present simple or future simple. And here we're talking about a fact, right? This goat is absolutely sure that this is a fact, that the wolf doesn't care, right? About her diet, basically, right? So we do need present simple here because this is zero conditional, right? You do not care if I eat good grass or bad. What you care about is me. What you care about is what? My gap answers the question what, and I have a verb right here, right? Which means I need a gerund, guys, right? This is not the predicate. Is the predicate, right? So I need a gerund in my gap because the gap answers the question what. What you care about is what? Eating me, right? We got it. We got all of them. Guys, congratulations if you've watched this stream to the end. You're an absolute guru on 19 through 24. There are a couple more streams that you can watch on our channel on this topic, and you will find both links in description. Right now, there's only one on the theory behind 19 through 24, but I will add another one on more practice with 19 through 24. So please do check them out if you haven't seen them and if you haven't participated. Congratulations, everyone! We've done it! Yay! Alright, guys, just a couple more words about our school, right? Здесь самое интересное. Как можно с нами учиться? Ну, к ЕГЭ мы, конечно, готовим. К ОГЭ, кстати, тоже. Но скоро лето, поэтому у нас открывается летняя школа. На летней школе мы тоже готовим к ЕГЭ и тоже готовим к ОГЭ, но, как правильно написано на слайде, на чили и расслабоне. Что это значит? Это значит, что мы будем изучать задания из ЕГЭ и задания из ОГЭ, смотря на какую программу вы запишетесь, смотря в каком классе вы учитесь и чего вы вообще хотите от жизни-то этой. Вот. Но как мы будем это делать? У нас будут смешанные занятия, да, в которых мы будем и изучать теорию, и практиковаться на практике, и, ну, если честно, то программы очень веселые, да, будем общаться с одногруппниками, делать клевые, веселые проекты. На чили и на расслабоне очень даже описывает все то, что мы запланировали для вас этим летом. Ну, потому что мы понимаем, да, что лето — это все-таки время, когда хочется заниматься чем-то суперинтересным, не знаю, гулять, бегать, прыгать, любить эту жизнь, а не сидеть с учебником. Вот, поэтому учебники откладываем, но к ЕГЭ и ОГЭ продолжаем готовиться. 2 месяца, 16 занятий, ну и, конечно же, скидки. Куда без них? Да, мы всегда готовим для вас самые выгодные предложения, поэтому, пожалуйста, заходите, записывайтесь, ссылочку вы тоже найдете под этим видео. Как записаться к нам на курс? По ссылочке все очень понятно, но если непонятно, пишите в комментариях, обязательно поможем каждому, кто напишет. Вот. Еще одна история. Если вы поступаете в этом году, то у нас для вас есть уникальное предложение экспертного сопровождения при поступлении в вуз. Ребят, я прям лично могу посоветовать эту программу, не потому что я с ней поступала, потому что когда я поступала, такой программы не было. Но если бы я поступала сейчас, я бы однозначно ей воспользовалась, потому что на этой программе с вами работают эксперты, люди, которые правда разбираются в вузах этой страны, во всех вузах этой страны. У них есть огромное количество информации, которой они с удовольствием поделятся с вами. И, в общем, если вы очень стрессуете или немножко стрессуете по поводу того, куда поступать, как поступать, весь вот этот процесс у вас кашей в голове, то на вот этой программе вам все разберут, по полочкам расставят, за ручку проведут. Очень советую. Вот. Ну и тут еще пара фактов на слайде, да, что мы составим вам карту вузов, оценим шансы на бюджет, подготовим документы, что вообще всегда самое сложное и самое неприятное из процесса, промониторим конкурсные списки, да, чтобы вы не сидели на зависающих сайтах сами. Мы сделаем это за вас. Супер предложение, очень советую. Ребят, ну и последний слайд на сегодня. Поставьте нам, пожалуйста, лайк и подпишитесь на наш канал. Тут вот мое лицо даже. Если вам понравилось это видео, если вам понравился наш стрим, если он был полезен, чтобы не пропускать наши дальнейшие стримы и видосики, мы с радостью делаем новый контент для вас и очень хотим увидеться вновь. Спасибо большое за участие сегодня. I hope to see you next week, right? And you have an absolutely amazing day. Okay? Bye, everyone.